Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Apostate Weekly. I'm your host, James.
And I'm Ryan.
And this week we are wrapping up the coverage on Norway for now, because the verdict is still going to come out on this in another 4 weeks. But we're going to just discuss a little bit more about this. And we have some other stories to share with you as well this morning. So we won't be hitting as much on the Norway story like we did last week. And with that being said, let's go ahead and run that intro and get into the show. All right, we are back to our antics again this week. We're glad that everybody could join us for this fine Wednesday morning. Finally starting to warm up a little bit where I'm at. I don't know about where you are.
I will say that the past 2 days it's been a bit warmer than it was while it was snowing, because we got several inches here last week.
We didn't get any snow. We just had cold
You
into
didn't
the
snow?
teens and 20s. No, it's
Oh,
hard to get snow where I live.
okay. Well, yeah, so
Which
we got
sucks.
a bit of snow, but it did kind of warm up, even though there's still snow out there. It's starting to melt, and today was warmer than it has
Yeah.
been.
Yeah, it's supposed to be in like the 60s here today.
Nice glasses,
Anyways,
James.
oh, shut up. It's just a sign of
James
me
got
getting
new
old and
glasses.
blind. Yes, I got new glasses.
Wait,
Because
excuse me, I thought we were supposed to live forever. What are you talking about?
in your head.
Yes, in my head, I will always be 18. You were correct.
That's right. Well, I'll be 21 in my head because I can still legally drink.
That's what you need. That's all you need is the
That's right.
21. It's
Need
a good
need the
age to stop.
alcohol.
That's kind of where I thought that I would stop. They said that you would get to like this perfect age. I thought maybe it would be like 21.
Yeah,
Guess we were
but we were wrong
we were wrong about that.
20, 30 years later.
No big deal. No
Yes.
time gap there whatsoever.
No, not
And
a
we have
bit.
all the knowledge now. Look at all the knowledge we have to go with it. Imagine if we
Bullshit.
stopped at
Excuse
20.
me.
Okay, speak for yourself. Speak for yourself.
I was speaking for you too.
Good
Because isn't that,
morning.
something I learned as a Jehovah's Witness was how to speak for, the women in the organization as well.
You know what? You're right, James. You should be
So
speaking for me. I'm not
that's
even
right.
sure why I am sitting here.
And
Blasphemy.
and why is my head the one that's covered and yours is not? Like what the hell?
Wait, so you mean to tell me that my God-given hair isn't cover enough? What in the
No, it's
world?
not. And your shoulders are
Like, I
showing.
feel
I
like
mean,
that should
I'm just
only be
saying.
well, I've got a lot more than my shoulder showing. Just saying.
Anyways, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the news.
On that note, we're gonna get in trouble again for not being serious, James. I don't want that to happen.
I know. We had somebody comment last week about us having too much fun, but with all these serious topics, we got to.
Like, dude, we have been traumatized. If
Yeah.
you don't like the way I behave, I'm gonna tell you, my friend, it's probably because of the indoctrination. So maybe have a little heart. Maybe you're the one with the problem and not me.
So, continuing on from last week, we had about, I want to say, what was it? 6 days of the trial, 7 days of the trial at that point.
Yeah, I think there was
Because
still a couple days left. Yeah, like
because
day
when we
7,
were
maybe. Yeah.
because when we were doing our show last week, it was like day 7 or day 8 out of on it, but they actually missed most of a day 2 last week because of the snow. So they had to
Mm,
cancel the session for that day. So if you look at
I
the
didn't realize. Okay.
avoidjw.org website and you're looking at their story on it, they have all 10 days in one page, but you'll notice that one of the days is missing. And that's the reason why, is because of the weather they were having. It made it unsafe to travel and go about. So, that's why you don't see, 10 full days. But, you know, going on with this, it's still just such an infuriating thing because the Watchtower lawyer Risdale, however you pronounce his name, you
Something
know,
Bristol.
he keeps every statement this dude makes, he is gaslighting the stories about it. He is undermining the victims in this and trying to say that, oh, it's only, these couple people that have had these problems in all these years. This is not something that commonly happens in our organization.
Yes.
You know,
Mhm.
like, dude, just because you have a small sample size in front of you and at a court doesn't mean that's all there are that have these issues.
Mhm.
He is totally dismissing the full scope of it because how many activists and XJWs does it take to stand up in order to get a country to recognize that there's a problem? So we're going to have a trial because of it. It's not just a
Exactly.
couple
Is
people.
that not evidence enough? Are you not able to see what's before you? And you know what I find interesting, because you mentioned that point, the one elder that testified for the JWs,
Hmm.
he was saying, he said that JWs across the globe have like these common problems. So you can see that across the globe, they have the same problem, but yet you don't see at the heart where it's coming from. It's coming from the call's coming from inside the house. Have you heard that? Yeah, the
Yeah.
call's
Yeah.
coming. uh,
Exactly.
they don't get it.
No, they don't. You know, it's just a concept that either if they do get it, that means they're just purposely lying about it to cover their own ass. And I would tend to go with that argument more so. Not that I can prove it, but with the way that they treat their shunning policy and how they try to obfuscate the truth all the time about it, they know what they're doing. They know what they're
Mm.
saying. They're
Oh,
not
that
stupid people by any means. They're just
everything
doing
is
this
intentional.
to cover their own asses in court because they want their tax benefits back from Norway.
It's just a strategy. It's
Yeah.
theocratic warfare. It's the double talk. It's the
Yep.
double entendre in the language. It's the, oh, look here, while I do this, I say this, but then I do this. It's intentional to drive you to gaslight. That's what gaslighting is. It's to make you feel like you're the crazy one when it's really them.
Have you ever seen the meme of has this kid riding a bicycle, right? And then he sticks the stick into his front tire and flips himself over his bike, right? And
Uh-huh.
so and so that's what the Jehovah's Witness organization does. They're the kid riding the
Mm,
bicycle. They stick the stick into the tire themselves to make it flip over. And then, oh, look how we're persecuted by the apostates and those who have left. Feel
mhm.
sorry for us, feel pity for us. We're the victims here, not them. They
And you know
did it to
what? Like,
themselves.
right. And I'm just gonna like quickly. So my husband was talking about something, and he said they always talk about this. I'm not going to say what particularly, but he said they always talk about the culture at this particular location, like a job. They always talk about how great the culture is, right?
Mhm.
And he said the culture is shit. There's no culture. Nobody cares about you. Everybody just says how great the culture is, but there's no sustenance. There's no substance to it.
Yep.
And it's literally the Jehovah's Witness we're such a loving organization. We love God's people. We want to guide. We're the shepherds of the flock. Up, 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 up. But it's again, there's no substance. It's not true. There was such a lack. Like I watched some of this testimony. There was such a lack of emotion. It was just like, "Mm, if that happens, it's not that bad."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I
who are
mean,
you to tell anybody how to feel about a situation and experience that they live through? Let them express themselves. They are so repressed, James.
oh
Like,
yeah.
no emotion. And I think that might be why sometimes when people see me and I'm so animated, it's just automatic, like, oh, well, something's wrong with her.
Yeah.
She's not like the normal J Dubs.
Yeah, exactly. But see, like, here's one of the biggest points of this whole trial too was, you know, the shunning of children, right? And one of the big things here that Risto tried to dispute is that individuals under 18 should be considered children in religious context. You know, he thinks anyone above the age of 15 should not be classified as a child in religious settings.
Oh, that
So,
pissed me off.
so you got this guy here not only trying to lie about what happens when somebody leaves the organization, but then wants to have it where minors are held accountable as adults are. And right now they're pushing at 15. Who's to say in a future trial they're not going to try to push for that age to be younger and younger?
Exactly.
You
It's a
know,
slippery
just so they
slope.
can get away with, oh, we shunned them, they're like adults, they got baptized, that was their choice. You know, they knew the full consequences of it. No, they do not. I was 13
Mhm.
when I got baptized. I did not know the full scope of it when I got baptized. I'm
I didn't
sorry.
think I'd get disfellowshipped. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Nobody I'm not trying to be like I don't wanna be gross, but nobody thinks that they're gonna have sex and get a communicable disease, right? Like nobody goes into it thinking you just think you're gonna be protected and it's not gonna happen. I'm doing the right things. It couldn't happen. Well, guess what? Like that shit can happen. You can do a bad thing that you didn't foresee. And I
Yeah.
say bad thing according to the
Right.
Jehovah's Witnesses. You
Right.
can sin without intentionally wanting to sin, and then your life is freaking over as you know it. And
Yes.
no, as a 15-year-old getting baptized, I was not able to fully understand the consequences of that action.
No. And that's just the thing, you know, even 18, even people
I love
who
that.
are adults and join the organization, let's just say from the door to door ministry, aren't fully aware of what the social consequences are for leaving the organization. You just don't know
Mhm.
because you
No.
don't, you
How
don't,
can you?
because you're only
I'm
told
not gonna sit
everything's
here and
love.
imagine what
And
it's like when my I hate to say it, my husband dies. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend to like, who does that?
yeah,
Nobody wants to imagine those horrible things. You're just gonna think, "Oh, it's never gonna happen. I'll cross that bridge," like, because it's not
yeah,
gonna happen.
right. And, you know, it's just such a sad thing. And this is why we do what we do this kind of show, because
Mm,
we want to bring awareness to this, because people just don't realize the full impact that it has on people. They just don't. And you can't explain it to them enough where they understand the full emotional impact that it has on somebody who has gone through it. But
right.
if we can get the awareness out there that they can have a modicum of understanding, and if they're empathetic, they'll try to put themselves in your shoes and they'll sympathize with you and be like, wow, I couldn't imagine that. You know, how can you do that to your own
Yes.
children and your own family, especially? And that's what the witnesses do.
I have to say that I have grown so much. My empathy, like my empathy more, but, I'm able to sympathize with people and empathize with people in ways that I never was able to before because I was always shutting those emotions down because,
Yeah.
there's only a certain range that's really acceptable when you're a Jehovah's Witness. And Sam says that, same thing. There's no emotion in the witnesses. I lived it as an emotionless robot for 39 years. That's how I felt. And now
Yeah.
I feel emotion in a huge way and I fully embrace it. And I love that makes me so
Yes.
happy because I feel exactly like that, Sam. Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, speaking of that, like, I find it crazy. Like, I'll be watching a TV show or a movie, and back when I was a witness, you know, I'd sit through there like these highly emotional scenes and just be kind of stoic about it. Now, like, I find
Mm.
myself tearing up a lot more. I'm just like, what the heck is happening here? Like, why am I crying? It's a TV show, you know, or a movie. But
Right.
you know, you just get involved in the scenes though, and you just like feel it,
Mhm.
you know, and
You're able to be touched.
that's what these shows and movies just are supposed to do anyways is make you
Right.
feel the emotion of it. And like it's weird, but it's also awesome at the same time because you're starting to express emotions in a healthy manner.
Right. Because it, you know, doesn't necessarily mean that we should go out raging.
No.
I'm
No.
I'm not suggesting that, there's balance to everything in life and maintaining
Well,
some kind
it
of
depends
amount
on
of
the
emotional
rage
control,
now.
but
Let's be honest.
well, actually, sometimes there is righteous rage and there are times where I've lately felt like raging. So there is that, but
Right.
bottling up emotions is not going to be healthy for you
No,
whatsoever.
not at
Mm-mm,
all.
no.
No. Healthy outlets though. Healthy outlets, not destructive,
Mm.
toxic
And I
outlets
think
though.
I think that's something as like a former Jehovah's Witness we have to learn, right? Because
Yeah.
at least for me, like I had things that I like to do as a teenager and such, but I didn't have true hobbies. I didn't have those real outlets to express myself.
Yeah.
Because you're certainly not doing it going out in field service, even though the Jehovah's Witnesses would like to say that, yeah, that's where you're most joyful and, giving your best. Yeah, no. The best things for you is when, you can be so out of your body that you're not even thinking. You're just enjoying what you're doing, whether it be working with your hands or, building something, whatnot. And now we get to do those fun things that we couldn't really spend the time before because our times needed to be spent at the Kingdom Hall reading the Bible, da 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 da. And
Yeah.
now we can actually nurture ourselves and get into those emotions and think about things that we never, the
And
uncomfortable
because
stuff that we just ignored.
we're not going to meetings or field service, we have time at home now that we can use to learn that about ourselves.
And it's a beautiful thing. Like
It is.
there's a lot of things now I truly treasure that I just never realized how important it was.
And with that being said though, this Norway wrapped up last Friday. So if anybody hasn't looked at the avoidjw.org article on this, big shout out. I'm going to give it to her again this week, Miss Usato, for writing the article and keeping up to date every day.
Thank you so much.
Huge shout out to you because I know that was a tremendous amount of time and effort you put into that. So thank you for doing that.
Oh
Make
my
sure you
god, yeah.
check out that article. The links are in the descriptions of every single channel we're streaming on right now. So you can catch that article from there. Um, and then they said in about 4 weeks, they're going to have a verdict on this. So we're definitely going to be
I was
keeping our eyes on
surprised.
this. And,
Maybe
we'll
that's because
bring,
it's like a district court and not a bigger court. Like sometimes the bigger courts seem to be they tied up a bit more. Maybe a smaller court has the ability to focus or something. I don't know, but that's great. I'm happy.
I don't know, or their legal system is just better than ours over here, you know?
Well, there's that.
So, I mean,
There's that. Touche,
they like
James,
they like
touche.
to they like to drag things on here a little bit in America.
People gotta get paid. We gotta have jobs. We gotta make
Yeah,
jobs.
yeah. Except
Red
if you're on
tape
the
creates
jury.
jobs. Well, yeah, you just get paid $8 for the
Yeah,
privilege.
yeah.
The joy. Oh.
So, anyways, I'm gonna go
Anyway.
ahead and move on unless you have anything else you wanted to say about this.
No, no, really, again, just thank you so much to everybody who testified, the people who sat there in the audience and listened to show support. I did hear there were a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses that had filled like the courtroom too, just to kind of be the smiling, shiny, happy people face. But to all those former JWs who did the damn thing. I love you.
Yes,
Thank you so much. You're
yes.
amazing. You're trailblazers. You're starting the ball rolling and it's gonna snowball. I know it. Thank you.
Would it be inappropriate if I called them the true pioneers?
Oh, yes. They are the real trailblazing true pioneers.
That's
Nope,
right.
I think that needs to be said. That's the kind of
Yes,
pioneer I wanna say.
exactly. They're the
Mhm,
kind of pioneers that are pushing for real change and pushing the
exactly.
frontiers of, religious.
So brave.
So, yes. So
In the
thank you to
face
all of
of
them.
adversity, they stood up, and I'm so thankful.
So, anyways, we're going to move on now. And
And none of those.
in other news, well, this is actually a little bit of an older story. And I tried to find the um, the resolution to it because it was supposed to have come out, but I guess they haven't posted it on the website yet. So uh, I'm gonna keep my eye open for this. But in Spain, this happened in, I want to say 2017, 2018. There was a Jehovah Witness who needed a surgery to be done, and she had all her paperwork filled out. She had her durable, her no blood stuff, her powers of attorney. She had all her ducks in a row saying, no, I don't want a blood transfusion. And that's fine. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. However, what happened was when she was in the surgery, she started hemorrhaging and she
Mhm.
had to be taken to another hospital in a hurry in an emergency. So a new doctor was seeing her during this emergency. Now, being it's an emergency, he didn't stop to look at all the paperwork and everything that he should have in a normal situation. What
Mhm.
ended up happening was he gave her a blood transfusion and saved her life. And now she has filed a suit against this, saying that her rights were violated and she didn't want this. And it's in the European Court of Human Rights waiting for the final
Oh
verdict.
my god.
So,
Jake, this is scary.
yeah.
Could you imagine? I and how is this not evidence of, like, the implications of the kind of control and manipulation that they extort over people, right? So
Mhm.
much so that this lady's life was saved and she's upset about it.
Yeah.
Come on. That that has to be put forward to people. Like, I probably should
Now
do a video on this, but that's
now see, like,
something.
here here's how I think I would have been if I was a witness in that situation, okay? Just knowing how I am. Like, I probably would have been a type that I had this emergency surgery. I filled out all my no blood paperwork and everything. And then the doctor saved my life. I still would have felt that I was in good conscience because I already said no. I made a firm stand. It wasn't me that made this
Same.
decision, it was somebody else. So now I get to be grateful that I'm alive. And I don't have to worry about the social consequences in the congregation for having this happen to me.
Right. 100%.
You know?
Uh,
But
that's
then
like that's like if you were at a restaurant and the person who served you is a disfellowship person. You didn't know you had such a good time, a good rapport talking about, and you started witnessing to them, and then realized after 2 hours, like, oh my goodness, this person is disfellowshipped. Like, should you now be disfellowshipped? Like, no, like, don't be stupid. Like, you did
yeah.
something without, you didn't do it. You
Yeah.
you did
I
nothing wrong.
mean,
It was
it
not
wasn't
under with your
wasn't like she
knowledge.
set out to go get this blood transfusion. Like I said, she had all her ducks in a row for that.
Did it say
Enjoy
she
it,
suffered
lady.
consequences? Or is it just
And
her mind
the
that's now fucking
it
with her?
the article never said about any consequences that she had or didn't have. There was nothing about
Hmm,
that. But we know as former witnesses what the consequences could be.
right.
But if you didn't make this decision, your conscience is clean by their standards,
I 100% agree. I
you
concur.
know?
I
And
don't
then
see what the issue is unless it's just to make some money.
it's probably what it is to make some money because like I I'm going to say it like this. Who in their right mind, and I don't think this lady's in her right mind, would sue somebody for saving their life?
I could never. I
You
That's
know?
such a slap in the face. Like, that's
Yeah.
basically saying I wanted to die.
Yeah.
I'm mad that you saved me. I wanted to die.
Yeah.
What? That's like what happens, the Good Samaritan law, or there's something about where, like, you might have cracked somebody's ribs when you were giving them
Yep. Yep.
resuscitation. They lived, but then you would sue that person because they cracked some ribs. Give me a
Yeah.
break. Something's wrong
Well,
with your medulla.
the good thing about that law is you can't be sued for saving them in that kind of a
Thank
situation.
goodness. Yeah, like the Good
Yes.
Samaritan, thank goodness. But, ugh,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous to just
I know. It, so I
I
looked
don't even
up
know.
the uh articles because it was article 8 and 9 that was cited from the European Court of Human Rights, and it's a lot to read through. Okay, so just I'm not going to read through, you know, these articles at all here, but just for anybody's reference, if they want to look up the articles of the European Court of Human Rights, this is what this uh, court case is touching on, are those two articles, and trying to determine whether the doctor was in the right or not in this situation.
Mhm.
And so
Okay.
if
I'm gonna look
anybody,
into that.
I I actually did
So
not.
it's being heard now? Like, is the court
Um,
case going on
it's
now?
being heard this
Sorry.
month. It's supposed to be heard this
Okay.
month.
Okay,
So
okay, okay. 'Cause I do wanna pay attention to that. That is interesting.
yeah, yeah, because they had something on the website about it, but they don't have the final verdict up for it yet.
Mm,
They
okay.
have the media release, they have the video of the court proceedings and all that. They just don't have the final verdict yet. So we'll be waiting on
Okay.
that. And again, like I said,
Wow.
we'll keep our eyes on that story as well, and I'll
And again
update you and let you know what happens.
again, James, remember, like, when we started this show, we were kinda like, "I don't know if we're gonna always have always have news to present, da 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 da." And
Yeah.
dude, I think when you really start paying attention, the J-dubs are going through it. And I don't
Oh
mean that,
yeah.
like, I'll feel bad for them. This is the organization, deservedly so, needs
Hmm.
to be held culpable for their behaviors.
Yep.
I I feel bad for the JWs who are going through it. We love them because, we still have family likely that are still in. So, of course, I care about them. This isn't about them as individuals. It's about what they're being controlled and manipulated to do because of the organization. So, just want to say
And
that.
Aaron, you're right. Who does want to be a doctor nowadays? If
100% Aaron.
especially if this poor
Mhm.
doctor loses this case.
Oh my god, I feel so bad for this
You
doctor.
know, I hope that he does not, because he was trying to do the right thing for the time and information that he had. You know, this doctor
Mhm.
is not culpable for saving this lady's life against her will.
Right.
Which, doesn't that sound
Gosh.
effed up right there? He's not culpable for saving her life against her will.
Her
Think
will.
about that for a
Mhm.
second. I mean, God,
Who know that that sentence would have to come out of your mouth, but
no
here we are.
kidding. I know.
Ugh, yeah, and, there's so much happening to doctors right now with, in the United States with the restrictive, healthcare for women. Doctors don't even know what they're within their rights to do anymore because whereas they normally would say, "Okay, you need to have this." You need an abortion. We'll just say it.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
on YouTube. It's not TikTok. I can say the words. You need an abortion, and now they can lose their license for simply doing that. So,
yeah.
yeah, I do feel bad for doctors right now.
So let's go ahead and move on. You had something you wanted to share with us this morning?
Oh yeah, I did want to quickly just present a few pieces of information on Palestine, what's happening, just to keep people up to date. I'm not sure if they've been paying attention or not, but I wanted to show where you can get some links. And thank you, hon. Where you can find links, look up the information for yourself if you're curious. This is a live war tracker, and it will give you the latest information on, like, the death toll, how many hospitals there, well, there's one working hospital left, in
Jeez.
Gaza, and I think yeah, it's actually being heavily bombed. Last night, over 50 people died because of the heavy shelling, and they're, like, burying people in the courtyards and stuff because they can't get outside of the building because that's where the tanks and stuff are, and it's really bad. Okay, so this link is in the description, of course. So please go check that out. There is no safe place to go. They tell people to go to one location and then they bomb that location. Of course, it's intentional. We understand that, but they're playing this charade intentionally to make it look like they care. Um, Really quickly, I wanted to share this poor little girl, her story. Um, I'm not going to play it. You can watch it on YouTube. You see how her eyes are like bulging and bloodshot. They
Yeah.
were staying in a one of those metal caravans, those little rinky dink ones. Her and her family, and the tanks rolled over. Like, there were a bunch of different people like in that location, and the tanks came in and rolled over them and squished them overnight,
Oh,
which is why she looks like that. Sadly, she didn't know until the morning, until the tanks rolled off of the camper van, that her father and I believe her sister or her brother had passed away through the
oh,
night.
jeez.
I know, so sad, really, really heartbreaking. And if you were not aware, Israel is not only bombarding Palestine, like they're bombing the West Bank, which supposedly there's no Hamas there, so I'm not sure why they're bombing the West Bank. Oh, I know why, because they want the land. Um, because they're bulldozing the land, people's houses, and intentionally setting fire to olive trees and native plants because they're going to take the land. Anyway, Israel's also bombing Lebanon with white phosphorus, which we know is a war crime. So they've hit Gaza Strip with white phosphorus, also Lebanon. Yes, if y'all don't know, like, I, in my heart, believe we're already in the world war. It's just that nobody wants to say it yet. But we have so many different proxy wars happening because the USA is using Israel as their little puppet in the East.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild. And okay, so yes, please take a look at what's happening in Palestine. You can help if you want by doing boop this BDS. BDS is boycott, divest, and sanction. So put your money where your mouth is. Try not to buy brands that are supporting Israel, and you'd be surprised with how many are sending money and supporting Israel. So this is what I'm trying to do, keep my money in my pocket and not give it to them. Because you might feel helpless. Like, what can I do? These are things that you can do. Last thing, so please, pray for our friends in Gaza. Last thing I wanted to share just quickly is I wasn't too far off. Isn't it him that had
um,
the
who was it?
goatee?
No,
Which
wasn't
one
it?
was it?
I thought it was Sanderson,
Is it Sanderson?
or was it Jackson? I don't remember.
I know, now I can't remember because honestly, I got those confused a lot just because the bald head and
Yeah,
the
I know, right?
but I thought that I was like, I think I almost got that one right. So let me show everybody a little goatee action for you.
I'm trying to find it right now if I can. There it
Oh, the
is.
picture.
Yeah, it was Jeffrey
It,
Jackson.
is it him?
It's him. Let's.
All right. I was
Yeah,
pretty close.
yeah.
He has his a little more kept than
Yes,
my
he
picture,
does.
but
Here we go. I'll share the screen here with it. I'll try to make it. See
so
if I can
good
make it
looking.
bigger. Ah, no, that's not what I wanted.
I hate that when you click on the picture and it tries
It
to take you
it's a
somewhere.
video. It's a video,
Oh,
not a
that's
picture.
why.
That's why.
I
So
see.
let's see if you can see it any better now. It's still not that great, but hopefully you'll see it a little bit. Here
And
on the
I think it is a bit gray, isn't it?
it is. It's very gray.
AI was on point.
That's right. So, but yeah. So he was the first. I wonder who the next one will be.
Yeah, I'm wondering.
But I would like to say though that if you are of the male specimen and you've left the organization, what the heck? And you grew a beard, then before they made this rule, you're still the original apostate with the beard.
Mhm.
My audio just changed so drastically.
Oh,
Are you still
oh,
there?
what, like you hearing me? Yeah, I can hear you and everything.
I can't hear you.
Uh-oh. Your
I don't
audio
know what
went again.
happened.
James audio does
Hang
that
on.
sometimes. Some reason it just disconnects and goes all funky. It's probably because it just doesn't like me. All right, I'm going to close all these windows. But yeah, please, you guys, if you haven't taken a look at what's happening to our friends in Palestine, I would appreciate if you could do that and
Weird.
tweet. Can you hear me
I
now?
wonder what happened.
Oh, I like that T-shirt. Um, Tweet. I haven't tweeted. Well, I've been sick, as you can tell, from listening to me.
There we
Probably.
go.
You got it.
I got it. For some reason, the because my headset connects to my phone and my computer, and I should have turned the. Usually, I turn the Bluetooth off on my phone so it doesn't ever switch
Oh, it
back. I
just
forgot to do
switched.
that this morning. It switched to my phone,
Mm.
and I'm like, "What
I
the
hate
heck?"
when it. I hate when like electronics just like I'm going to help you out by doing this. Like no.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, because all of a sudden, like, because I have noise canceling on it, and all of a sudden it turned it all off, and I like heard all the noise around me. I'm like,
Yeah,
"What
the
the heck?"
ambient sound. And it sounds so
Yeah.
weird too, because I sometimes accidentally push like a button on the side here because it's like there's no real button, but if you touch it, something happens and it
Yep.
changed the ambient sound and I hate it. I'm
My
like, ugh.
my headphones have the same thing, so I try not to touch them when I'm doing a show or even anything else, because I don't want them to do anything but keep the noise away.
Exactly. Hmm.
But
What were you in the middle of? Were you gonna just show us something?
I was done.
Oh, you were done? Okay. I couldn't remember.
I
I
mean, I
know I
wasn't
was
gonna
talking.
like dance or nothing or sing, so
Why not?
I don't want to lose all our subscribers. That's why not.
So when you and your dad left, you both grew a beard and now beards are allowed. So your dad shaved his off, no longer feels like a rebel, right? Like, damn.
Yeah, I know,
You could
right?
probably like dye it or braid it. That probably won't be allowed, at least not
Hey,
for a while.
you could still do this, as a guy, you grow long hair.
I
That's
wonder if
still not
that will be
allowed.
next. I wonder if that will be next because again, Jesus was not getting his head shaved every 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Like a closed face.
No. Je-
Jesus had those
Jesus was a
long, flowy,
long-haired,
curly
full
locks.
beard hippie.
He was a rebel.
Yeah.
Jesus was a straight up hating the frickin' fascist government. Actually, he was dealing with 2 governments that were shitty to him, that wanted him dead. So, there's no way in hell Jesus was walking around on suit and tie.
And at the very end, even Jesus got his nails done.
Oh, oh my god. I cannot. I I'm going home.
You're all home.
Damn it. I'm already there. Oh, you know what,
Ah,
James? Wait, before we go.
okay.
So I saw this TikTok video. There's this new trend of, well, okay, so there was already a trend of getting a tattoo here on your forearm of like let's say Popeye, and then
Mhm.
his arm, and then your hand would be his hand, and it looked rather cool, especially
Oh,
because
I
Papa,
I
and
think
they're
I know where
doing it
you're.
with Jesus,
Yes, I saw
and they're
that.
doing this same, and they got Jesus on a cross like this right here on their arm, and so they're
Right.
doing it on their right hand. I'm sorry, they're
No,
doing it on their right
on their
hand,
left
and
hand.
Jesus. Well,
You
either way,
No, here's why I say that, okay? Because this is the video I saw. They were doing it on their left hand, right? And then this one guy put it on his right hand because,
oh,
and then
okay,
they started talking in the video about, well, what if you're put
right.
Jesus on your right hand?
Like you're gonna look down at
Oh,
Jesus.
you're
I
jerking Jesus, or is Jesus jerking you? I mean, I I got jerked by Jesus.
or imagine, you're doing the old, and and you're looking.
Careful, your
No,
nails are too sharp.
it, I told you to take that steak out first. Oh my gosh. Uh, I,
Uh,
I, no wonder people are leaving negative comments. Okay, maybe it's dessert.
bye.
Audio. And you know what's so funny, James? The fact that people are frustrated with us and our behavior, or whatever it is, if they don't like the show. And we literally, every time we end, we say, apostate your way.
Yes.
It's our mantra. It's the
And
motto
this
of the show.
is our way right here. You and me, we're doing our way right here.
Yeah, and that is the point of making the channel.
Yep.
It's to spread awareness, but also to get community together. Like I
Mhm.
love seeing everybody in the morning and hearing your comments and
Yes.
whatnot. You add to this as well. This is an experience, not just a show. None of us are getting rich here. Like James and I aren't doing this because like we're getting some kind of crazy notoriety and lots of money in our bank accounts. We're just
And just so
exchanging
everybody
ideas.
and just so everybody knows too, like as you all are commenting, I am, at least I am. I'm reading all the comments. We may not display every comment because we might be in
Yes.
the middle of saying something back and forth or whatever, or every comment doesn't need to be displayed either. And I try to display the ones that I feel add to the conversation or make a good point in the conversation. But I do
Mhm.
read through all these comments as you're putting them up there. So just so
And
everybody knows.
sometimes like this one, I wanted to put this one up, but it just sometimes the conversation moves so fast that we don't.
Yes.
It's not intentional, but just know that like I love seeing everybody here.
And
It's
I
it's
feel
great.
like
It makes me feel good.
I feel like in the last year as well, we've gotten better at being more smooth with how we do the comments and everything on
So
the.
smooth.
We're smooth,
We're smooth like
except you.
X-Lax. Speak for yourself.
I will, because I'm the only one I can speak for on that one. Unless you have something
You
growing in
can't
that
throw
we
your
don't see.
voice. Ventriloquism.
Yeah,
I
but
didn't say it.
anyways, with that, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the show for the week.
Yes.
Damn right, Sam. Damn right.
Damn right.
And I've always
Yeah.
been that kind of person. If you don't want to listen to my content, don't. I it's
Right. I
I'm not
am
make
not going to hold
like
you
I said, I'm
here.
not making money off of it. So I'm doing this, to get information and awareness out. If you like me, you do. If you don't, sorry.
Right. And you
You
have to
know?
understand too, our audience isn't just Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah.
Like sometimes like this is intentionally put so that way we can reel in other people who might go, "Oh, wait, what is it they're talking about?" Because we need outside people outside of our little XJW bubble, you know?
Yep.
Oh,
Yes.
Discord.
I'm gonna put the link in right
You
now.
got it?
Just give me, yeah,
Okay.
1 second.
Yeah, so if you want to join a little small community we have on Discord, I'm sorry I've not been as active. I've just not been myself. I'm getting there. I think I
Yeah.
might be on the right meds now to finally be on my way to getting better. Um,
But there's the
but
link for the Discord for anybody who
it's a
wants to
good
join us.
community.
It is.
Yeah,
It's a real
keep
good
it
community.
safe. no craziness in there. Just
And and also
sharing
like
ideas, encouraging, etc.
and also please like and subscribe to the channels if you're in a safe place to do so. Because we
Yes.
also understand there may be current witnesses who are watching and can't do that because they don't want their algorithms going off the chain and other people seeing it. So if you can't
Right.
do it, please don't. But if you can,
Right.
please drop us a like, please drop us a subscribe, share it with your friends and anybody you can. And let's make this community grow, and also let's make it be a great community as well. I want it to be a place where we can come and relax and not, yes, we're going to hear serious stories, but we're also going to laugh along the way and try to have fun.
Exactly. Like, I don't want anyone to think that I'm flighty and I don't take things serious. I absolutely do. Like, I've been crying for weeks over the stuff that's been happening, not just in Gaza, but listening to some of the testimony in Norway. Oh, good morning,
You
Wally.
you too, Wally.
It's
That
emotional.
that's his
Have a
saying on
good
his
ass
channel. Have a
day.
good ass day. Yes, you too, and everybody else have a good ass day too.
Mm-hmm. But these things take an emotional toll
Yep.
on
Yep.
everybody involved.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So hearts out to everyone who are sharing their stories and putting themselves on display just so others can see what it's like to have lived inside of a seemingly kind and loving cult, and we find the culture is just not, it's just not that. So
Yes. So with that being said, everybody, we love you. We love having you here every week. We'll be back next week at the same time, same channels, I should say, because we're on 3 different channels streaming. So have a, you know, not just a good ass day, but a good ass week as well. Take care of yourself, take care of others
please.
around you, you know, and, we'll see you all next week, and, hope you all have a great week.
Don't forget to apostate your way.
Exactly.
Bye.
Bye.